Inmate with cuffed hands and feet wearing a suicide smock.
You don't have rights. There's no treatment in here the way there's treatment out there. My name is Ricardo Rodriguez, and we're in King County Correctional Facility, and I've been here for 6 months.
Kaylee Beber, AVID Jail Project Attorney.
With the AVID Jail Project, we go to jails in King County every week. We are constantly meeting new inmates and keeping in touch with inmates that we've already met with. When I first met Ricardo, I learned that he'd been infracted or punished for hurting himself.
Ricardo.
I'm bipolar and schizophrenic, and I hear voices. I have this diagnosis since I was like 13 or 14. And the voices keep telling me to hurt myself, cut myself, any kind of way I self-harm.
Kaylee.
The fact is that people in jail attempt self-harm, they attempt suicide. The suicide rate in jails is 3 times the rate as it is in the community. So most jails have policies in place for responding to inmate self-harm, including the jail where Ricardo is incarcerated. If an inmate either attempts to or does hurt themselves, they'll receive medical treatment. They get transferred to psych housing, and they receive monitoring by mental health providers.
Kaylee at King County Jail.
Unfortunately, at some jails and at this jail, you can also receive a disciplinary infraction for self-harm.
Ricardo.
I can't control, what's going on in my head, like, or my body, like physically. Like if I bang in my head and I don't stop, and then they'll be like, well, we're gonna take you out, or we're gonna infract you. Basically, they punish you like that too. Like.
Kaylee.
So this is a list of 4 different infractions that Ricardo received for self-harm.
Ricardo's infraction report.
The first one was in October 2015. He was infracted for tearing up his suicide blanket in an attempt to hang himself.
Ricardo.
What happened is, like, I started hearing all these voices, and then I took my smock and not my smock, my blanket, and I tear it up.
Photo of the torn blanket.
I was planning, like, to put it on the sprinkler. The guard came and was like, well, what are you doing, And that's when they told me to give up, the contraband before I start hanging myself. The list of infractions that infract me was 203, refusing orders or causing the supervisor to respond. Self-mutilation, which is self-harm. Possession of contraband, that was the tear up blanket. Property damage, because I destroyed the smock or the blanket.
Kaylee.
Ricardo was infracted again for self-harm on February 2nd for hitting his forehead against his cell door and wall. This time, he received serious infractions number 203, refusing orders or causing supervisor response, and 217, self-mutilation, tattooing, piercing. He was found guilty of both and sentenced to 7 days in solitary confinement, where you get 1 hour out of your cell every other day, and you can receive a bill if any property damage was involved with the self-harm.
Ricardo.
$52.90. That's what they charged me for that security smock that I tear up in a cell for self-harm. They don't understand, like, how I feel about, what's going through my head. And they're not doctors, they're officers, so they do things in a different way, like they disciplinary you, they use force on you.
Kaylee.
So instead of responding with discipline to self-harm, we want the jails to stop disciplining people for self-harm. So we reached out to the jail to find out what their reaction is to Ricardo's story, what their position is on this issue. And this is what they said.
Letter from King County Jail.
We agree that there is no benefit in disciplining inmates with serious mental illness who self-harm. We also understand that those in isolation, regardless of degree of mental illness, are emotionally challenged, as this environment is not therapeutic. We will therefore continue to work with the AVID Jail Project and evaluate current policies regarding self-harm and property damage, specifically for identified inmates with mental illness.
Kaylee.
Ricardo is still in jail. We keep talking with him and working with him.
Ricardo.
It affects me in so many ways because I'm alone, I hear voices, I hallucinate, and there's no one, there to talk to me or help me. And I start, like thinking that nobody cares. It's not fair, for them to punish you because you're harming yourself when you already have a problem. Instead of solving the problem, you're creating more problem to it.
Follow Ricardo's story and other stories of people with mental illness in jails at avidjailproject.org. Amplifying Voices of Inmates with Disabilities is a project of Disability Rights Washington. Produced by Rooted in Rights.